On January 9, 2026, Russia announced a significant escalation in its conflict with Ukraine, declaring the combat deployment of its Oreshnik intermediate-range hypersonic ballistic missile. This marked only the second confirmed operational use of the formidable weapon, following its initial appearance in November 2024. The Russian Defense Ministry explicitly framed the strike as direct retaliation for an alleged Ukrainian drone attack on a residence belonging to President Vladimir Putin in the Novgorod region during late December 2025. This justification, however, was swiftly and vehemently denied by Kyiv, with Ukrainian officials dismissing the accusation as a lie, hallucinations, and fictions. Adding to the skepticism, some Western officials, including U.S. President Donald Trump, also voiced doubts regarding the veracity of the Russian claim concerning the attack on Putin's property. The deployment of the Oreshnik, therefore, carried a dual message: a perceived response to a specific provocation and a broader demonstration of advanced military capability. The missile's previous combat debut in 2024 had already signaled a new dimension in the conflict, and its reemergence solidified concerns about Russia's willingness to utilize its cutting-edge arsenal. International observers immediately recognized the strategic implications of introducing such a high-speed, difficult-to-intercept weapon into the ongoing hostilities. The Russian announcement was meticulously crafted to convey a message of decisive action and an unwavering resolve to counter perceived threats, real or fabricated, against its leadership and territory. The carefully chosen narrative underscored Russia's position that it would respond to any aggression with overwhelming force, further complicating the already intricate geopolitical landscape of Eastern Europe. The precise nature of the alleged Ukrainian attack remained unverified by independent sources, yet it served as the stated casus belli for a significant display of Russian military might. This strategic communication element was as crucial as the physical strike itself, aimed at both a domestic audience and international rivals. The Oreshnik missile was directed at the Lviv region in western Ukraine, a location of particular geopolitical sensitivity given its proximity to the European Union and NATO member Poland. The choice of target underscored a deliberate decision to project Russian power closer to the borders of the Western alliance, potentially testing the resolve and response capabilities of NATO. Russian statements claimed the strike successfully hit critical infrastructure, specifically identifying energy and drone manufacturing sites. However, reports from local Ukrainian officials and unverified intelligence sources presented a slightly different picture, suggesting that the actual target might have been a large underground natural gas storage facility. This discrepancy in claimed versus potential targets added another layer of ambiguity to the strike's immediate impact. Crucially, initial assessments from Ukrainian investigative bodies and some Western officials indicated that the missile might have carried inert or dummy warheads, a pattern reminiscent of the Oreshnik's inaugural combat use in November 2024. If confirmed, this would imply that the launch served primarily as a symbolic demonstration of force and a technical validation of the weapon system, rather than an attempt to inflict maximum destructive damage. The use of inert warheads, while reducing immediate casualties or infrastructure damage, would nonetheless send a powerful message about Russia's capacity to penetrate Ukrainian air defenses with an advanced, difficult-to-intercept weapon. Such a maneuver could be interpreted as a psychological operation, designed to sow fear and demonstrate the futility of current defensive measures against the Oreshnik. The strategic choice of Lviv, a region far from the primary front lines and historically less exposed to direct missile strikes of this magnitude, amplified the message of reach and impunity. The intent, therefore, appeared to be less about territorial gain or immediate battlefield advantage, and more about showcasing a technological edge and a willingness to escalate the conflict in unprecedented ways. The international community closely monitored the situation, dissecting every detail to understand the implications of this new phase of missile warfare. While the Oreshnik strike on Lviv garnered significant international attention due to the weapon's advanced capabilities and symbolic implications, it was part of a much broader and devastating overnight barrage of attacks unleashed across Ukraine. This extensive assault involved a coordinated effort, employing over 240 drones and 36 missiles, targeting multiple regions, including the capital, Kyiv. The scale and intensity of this comprehensive attack highlighted Russia's continued strategy of attempting to overwhelm Ukrainian air defenses through sheer volume and diverse weapon systems. The widespread nature of the strikes resulted in tangible and tragic human costs. Across Ukraine, the overnight bombardments led to at least 4 confirmed deaths and dozens of injuries. These casualties underscore the indiscriminate nature of modern warfare and the severe impact on civilian populations, even in areas not directly targeted by the most sophisticated weapons. Emergency services in various cities worked tirelessly to respond to fires, damage buildings, and assist the wounded, painting a grim picture of the immediate aftermath. The simultaneous application of both drones and various types of missiles, alongside the high-profile Oreshnik launch, suggested a deliberate attempt to maximize pressure on Ukraine's military and civilian infrastructure. The drone attacks, often less costly to deploy, served to deplete air defense munitions and distract attention, potentially creating openings for more powerful ballistic or cruise missiles. This multi-layered attack strategy aimed to inflict significant damage while simultaneously showcasing the range and depth of Russia's destructive capabilities. The international community, particularly Ukraine's allies, condemned the attacks as a violation of international law and a further exacerbation of humanitarian suffering. Reports from international media documented the widespread destruction, emphasizing the psychological toll on the Ukrainian populace enduring constant threats from skies. The human element of this conflict, often overshadowed by geopolitical narratives, remained a critical aspect of understanding the war's true impact. The Oreshnik missile represents a significant leap in Russia's military technological arsenal, boasting capabilities that pose considerable challenges to existing air defense systems globally. Its defining characteristic is undoubtedly its speed. Reports indicate the missile travels at velocities exceeding 13,000 kilometers per hour, or over Mach 10. This extreme hypersonic speed, as frequently emphasized by President Vladimir Putin, renders it virtually impossible to intercept with current air defense technologies. The kinetic energy alone at such speeds makes any impact devastating, regardless of the warhead type. Beyond its sheer velocity, the Oreshnik is an intermediate-range ballistic missile, IRBM, with a sophisticated design capable of carrying multiple independently targetable reentry vehicles, MIRVs. This MIRV capability means a single Oreshnik missile can deliver several warheads, each directed at a different target or designed to overwhelm a single defensive system. This significantly enhances its destructive potential and complicates defensive strategies as multiple threats emerge from a single launch. Furthermore, the missile's versatility extends to its warhead options, as it can be fitted with either conventional or nuclear warheads. This dual-use capability adds a layer of strategic ambiguity and escalation potential, making its deployment a matter of profound international concern. The capacity to arm it with nuclear warheads underscores its role as a strategic deterrent, while conventional payloads demonstrate its utility in tactical or operational strikes. Russia recently announced that the Oreshnik has entered serial production, indicating a commitment to mass-produce and integrate this advanced weapon into its armed forces. This transition from development to large-scale manufacturing signals a sustained effort to modernize Russia's strategic missile forces. Moreover, reports confirmed that the Oreshnik has also been deployed to Belarus, a move that places this formidable weapon system even closer to NATO's eastern flank and raises significant security implications for the region. The technical specifications of the Oreshnik paint a picture of a truly advanced and destabilizing weapon system. The deployment of the Oreshnik missile and the broader barrage across Ukraine immediately triggered significant geopolitical repercussions, drawing strong reactions from both Ukraine and its international allies. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha explicitly labeled the use of such a potent weapon system so close to the European Union border as a grave threat to European security. He further characterized the incident as a test for the transatlantic community, highlighting the urgency for a unified and robust response from Western nations. Sybiha's remarks underscored the perceived direct threat to regional stability and the potential for spillover effects beyond Ukraine's borders, especially given the Oreshnik's reported deployment in Belarus. The timing of the Oreshnik strike was particularly noteworthy, coinciding with high-level discussions between Ukraine and its key European allies, specifically Britain and France. These talks focused on crucial topics, including post-war security guarantees for Ukraine and the highly sensitive prospect of deploying European troops to maintain a future peace. The Oreshnik launch, therefore, injected a new element of urgency and uncertainty into these delicate diplomatic negotiations, potentially influencing the scope and nature of future security commitments. The incident undoubtedly intensified calls for increased military aid to Ukraine, particularly advanced air defense systems capable of countering sophisticated threats, even if the Oreshnik itself is deemed nearly impossible to intercept. The demonstration of Russia's advanced missile capabilities pressured European nations to reassess their own defense postures and collective security strategies. The rhetoric surrounding the Oreshnik's deployment served to solidify perceptions of Russia as a persistent and technologically advanced adversary. Analysts began to consider the potential for a new arms race, particularly in hypersonic missile technology, as other nations strive to develop countermeasures or comparable weapons. The strategic landscape in Eastern Europe and beyond was undeniably altered by this latest development, raising profound questions about future stability, deterrence, and the ongoing trajectory of the conflict. The Oreshnik's appearance marked not just a military action, but a significant geopolitical statement with long-term implications for international security.